What do you mean?
We're good?
So
wait.
we're good.
I have to move my camera so that people can see me.
Okay, you can move whatever you want. Guys, welcome to episode...
Wait, hold on. Do we need a reset, or has this all been recording?
We're good. He's good. We were
We're
waiting
good.
on Dan, who wasn't ready because Anthony came in fucking swinging through the ropes.
Guys,
Not
welcome
ready.
so much. Welcome so much.
Welcome so much.
Yeah, just a known phrase.
Welcome so much.
Welcome so much to episode, I think it's either 258.
It's not
Doesn't
numbered.
matter.
It's a
It's Patreon.
Patreon.
No, but we're doing a 10-minute one.
No, we're not.
Not.
No one decided that except you, and you told no one.
What? Well, then my whole thing...
Uh-oh, looks like Harumi's canceled. We're
He
good.
knew
He's
it.
opened up his own windows. This guy's shifted
The whole
through
thing
Amazon
was
gift
Shifty
wish list.
shift.
This whole thing was predicated on my 10-minute episode.
Continue.
Well, all right. So I guess then we'll do this for the first 10 minutes. And I think we should release this for free for people as a teaser for the Patreon.
Oh, the thing I said before that everyone got mad,
Yes.
where I say, like, we release half the episode, and if you want the rest, you coming on, and then everyone looked at me like I was a thief in the night.
Yes. But now things are very... I've had time to marinate
has
on
changed.
this idea.
Yeah,
Times
marinate.
have changed.
Like a
and
stew.
and I think this is a great idea now. So...
Can you shut the door, Dan? I'm sorry. The wind is making me
So,
crazy.
guys,
Hold on.
welcome to the Patreon.
I gotta know, because I got issues
bet
with knowing or not knowing. Is this a 10-minute?
No, this is a Patreon episode, but the first 10 minutes are going to be available online for free for anyone who subscribes
Just
to our RSS
making
feed.
work for Greg.
Yeah,
Just
sounds good. I'll just get to my... I'll open up Premiere, and I'll cut that up. You want captions on it, too?
Yeah. You want captions?
If we could.
You son
Is
of
that
a
an option?
bitch.
Now, if you want to listen to this you have to log on to our RSS feed.
Oh, don't even get me started about that guy. What I want to mention.
Anyway, so for the
I
first...
went off on Ryan Beck on that other episode. Remember that?
You sure did.
That was
but hold
great.
on, Anthony's driving the train, and it will
That's fine.
probably
Sure.
fall
I'm
off.
a
I'm
very
back.
loose driver.
Yeah,
Here's
you
the way
could
I
say that
drive.
again.
I drive like a person, like a permit person.
Like
Do
a
you know what I
permit
mean?
person, like a driving permit.
Yes, where everyone has a steering wheel.
Yeah, everyone needs to make sure you don't drive the car into a river.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you run it.
Is that? I thought that they were there so that you can turn at the same time, like a synchronized
Like
swim
Maggie
team.
Simpson.
I
I've
don't
never
recall
seen it, but
the.
I'd imagine.
I don't recall the driving. My driving instructor didn't have a wheel. He had a brake.
Yes.
He didn't have a
Maybe
wheel.
that's what I'm thinking of.
You know what's a
so
fun?
you guys have brakes.
You know what's a fun trick?
What?
To buy one of those cars used, right? And then not let
That's
your
really
friend
fun.
drive the
Oh.
car.
Yeah.
Not tell him. Just keep hitting the brakes and get real mad at him. Just go, what are you doing?
Stop driving like a maniac.
I'm trying to drink coffee.
That's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. How else could this be happening? Don't say you're not doing it.
Yeah.
There's no self-stopping cars.
To that, let me pivot. Have they ever done a real kind of Willy
great.
Wonka factory before, where a place you can go in and just eat whatever you want because the walls are made of cheese? Have they ever really attempted that?
Well, they they
Huh.
do have at state fairs in some of the dairy states. They have a butter sculpting competition.
Yeah.
So you could eat that.
Yeah, if
wanted
you're
to.
hungry.
But you're right. They don't have a restaurant where the walls are lined with the food that they've made.
Yeah, well, they should.
I imagine as we get further, as we understand the brain more, we'll figure out stuff like that.
Let me tell you this: no one's ever going to understand your brain. They're going to have Nazi scientists working on your head for years after.
Well, that's good. We'll find out who are the Nazis.
Well, we'll know who they are. We hired them. We hired them in Mission Paperclip, as we do hire old Nazi scientists because, look, we don't like what they were up to, but we do like their drive.
Yeah, they invented the microwave, from what I understand.
That's how we got to the moon.
That's how we got
Yep.
to the moon.
That's how we got to the moon. That's how we got the microwave. That's how we got some of these cameras we're using today.
That's how we got those, when they have those sports arenas with the retractable domes.
Yeah.
Really? That was a Nazi thing?
I don't know. But
Could be.
Could be.
You know what I like?
I think so, because if you think about a retractable dome, it very much is in the Nazi philosophy.
Sure. It fits right
Really?
in.
Yeah.
And?
Expand.
Rain or expand. That's
Rain or
better than what
shine.
I was going to say. Rain or shine, we'll round them up. But expand is better.
No,
So let's just say I said expand.
I was literally telling you to expand on your idea.
Oh.
Oh.
No, but I thought you meant because they expand sometimes as the Germans wanted to expand throughout Europe.
They
their
really
empire.
did want to take everything. Here's the thing I don't understand.
Sure.
Why do you want to take over the world? You
What
know
fun
what I mean?
is that? So much responsibility.
Yeah, it seems like
Totally.
a lot. Like, just take over your little town.
Mm-hmm.
What's if you have 1 million people you're reigning over? Why do you want everything? You want everything?
Not only that, I would say if I was ever a cruel dictator,
Uh huh.
Let's
would-
not rule things out, Brendan.
Yes.
You know, dreams may come true here.
I
You
would
can
do
do
the
it.
reverse. I would say we're retracting. We're
Yeah.
kicking people out and getting smaller until it's just me and a few and some hot ladies and a few guys
yeah,
I
I'm
like.
trying to shrink this thing
And
down.
this is our country.
Yep.
Stay the fuck out.
I think you're 100% right, and I think what you're saying is good, where you want a bunch of hot women and then a couple ugly guys, so the hot women always know the bar. You
Yeah,
know
a
what
couple
I mean? So you're
pals of
always
mine.
well, pals, good. Pals are good. Great. That's great. But then also then the hot women will go, this is the most handsome guy in the lot.
And I think what was unfair is I'm pretty sure that was essentially what the McAfee virus protection guy did.
Oh, man, don't get me started on that guy.
I think that's
One of
what
my
he had
favorite-
set up for himself.
Yeah.
And they really tried to crack down on him.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that guy was done dirty.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite guys of the last the 20th century,
Yeah.
endlessly fascinating,
Yeah.
John McAfee, would have just women shit in his mouth.
Yeah.
Nobody was coming or anything. Just loved that, and then would go about his day.
Yes.
A real Anthony guy. Now, so far this has been great, and we've gone on a lot of fun tangents.
Uh-huh.
But I would like to know, and Greg, where are we at on time?
Where are we on? We're at where we're supposed to be.
Good
Hang
for
on,
me.
man. I am just uploading the last episode. I was hoping I could get away with
No,
not
that's
speaking
fine.
for a little bit.
No.
That's
go ahead.
totally fine. Brendan
Continue,
and I have
yes.
spent a lot of time with each other.
Not that
Where
much.
you?
Not as much as I'd like.
We're on time. We're at 7 minutes.
Okay, so we
and the Patreon is ready to go, so I have no stress.
Okay, great.
Great.
So what's everyone doing for Christmas?
Oh, this is good.
Because this is going to air before Christmas, but some people might listen to it after Christmas.
Well, I myself
You
am,
blathering bully ball of bulg.
I'm going to Maine with my lady,
Right,
where
right.
she's from. I
Right.
love Maine. It's very rustic, great accents.
Oh, really?
Oh, you've never heard a Maine accent? It's
Oh,
great.
hello.
No,
No,
how do they talk?
it's more. I think it's more like. It's yeah. Your mother's dead, boy. Nothing we can do about it now.
Wow.
Whoa.
They talk like
Sit
Great
down.
Gatsby people.
Sit down and eat supper. Supper's ready.
Really?
Supper's ready.
Whoa.
Your mother's dead, boy. We're both sad. Nothing we can do about it now.
Wow, I might have to get over to Maine.
Yeah,
man.
it's
This
great.
is-
A lot of people's parents dying in Maine because it is very cold.
Oh, that's true.
It's very cold. That's really the only sentence I could say. I made it up.
fine.
I think that lobster.
So what are you
It's-
doing for
Oh,
Christmas?
right.
I'm going to Maine. I'm going to go up to Maine.
It's like
with
John
a-
F. Kennedy.
I'm going. Well, he, it did have sort of a, because he's where are they from? They're from Massachusetts, but he did the Maine is a better version of the Boston accent, essentially, and so
Lobster? You want some lobster?
I'm a lobsterman.
Lobster?
Lobsterman. Those
Lobsterman?
guys don't.
Lobster soup?
Those guys do not fuck around because like
You get a cup of soup over there?
a lobsterman, if you fuck with their pots with because they just have to leave them out, you know. So there are people that will poach, that will go try and they all have. It's fun. They all get. It's a fun little system. They all have because there's a buoy on top of where you put the pot down,
Totally.
and they all have their personal family colors of their buoys.
Whoa.
That's how you
That's
know
cool.
whose pot it is. They all have. You can't.
Oh, you mean in the water?
When they throw them in the water, they throw
Right, so
the
you
lobster
can't fuck with them 'cause
cages
they're
down.
like, those are the
So
richer
so you
dudes.
know whose it is.
Yeah.
They each have their own individual colors. But if you fuck with them and they catch you, they'll shoot you. They can like carry
I'd
shotguns.
imagine.
They'll kill you. But
Dude, if you could get a little submarine, you could clean up.
yeah,
those
just a
little
little
submarines?
lobster stealing somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's interesting that they don't have personal submarines.
Maybe I'll go up there and make some money with my personal submarine that I purchased in the back of a magazine ad. $100. I said, good. This is not bad for a submarine. And they delivered it. You got to put it together is the only problem. You
It's-
put it together.
It's just
Sure.
a big plastic bag with some tight rubber bands. Yeah, put this around your neck. Here's some fins, and you just swim around till the air runs out.
I remember my mom. I tried to buy these X-ray glasses out of the back of a magazine when I was little. My mom was like, "I'm not buying these. They're not going to work." And I'm like, "This bitch just doesn't want me to see titties."
Right.
I know that's what's happening right here.
Let me ask you this, because I was always endlessly fascinated by that ad. Because I'd always see it in the back of Mad magazine. It was in comic books, stuff like that. What would they send you? How was that allowed?
The X-ray glasses?
Yeah.
I bought them.
What were they?
So they were like these paper glasses that literally was like cellophane on them that just distorted the way you looked. So it just made you have double vision, which if you wore too long would fuck your eyes up.
How was that legal to just be like? And they would literally appeal. There was pictures of women in like a little drawn woman. They would literally appeal to boys wanting to see through women's clothing.
Yes.
How was that a legal fucking?
You don't see the ads anymore. I'll tell you this much. I think someone got to. I think Little Boy Lawyer got to it because the Little Boy Lawyer is the only one who's going to defend the little boys.
Right. Yeah.
And I think Little Boy said, "Enough with these fake X-ray ads. We've been taken for too long."
Your Honor.
Your Honor, these X-ray ads ain't real.
I just wanted to see some boobs, and then it came in the mail. My eyes all fucked up now.
Little Boy Court.
I got another problem. Speaking of courts,
Oh, real quick though, before we move on, I want to say, you know what Pet Rock was?
a rock.
It was a weapon. It was a leash tied to a rock. You could swing around, and smash someone in the head.
And those guys made a lot of money.
That was over $100.
No,
from me alone.
No, it was a big fad. Dan, look up the gross revenue on the Pet Rock fad.
Before us, though, right?
Yeah,
Pet
that
Rock
was
was
70s.
No, Pet Rock was happening in our time though. You could buy a Pet Rock in the 80s.
You could?
Yeah, it might have been a knockoff, but
That's
rock-off.
funny when you're the second Pet Rock company.
Because you know
that's
there were.
sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
There's always a second company that tries to cash in.
of course, why wouldn't
I
you
wonder
be?
what the
All right,
second...
Harumi's got some figures for us.
Creator Gary Dahl unloaded more than 5 million of the Pet Rocks in 6 months. He walked away with a cool 15 million.
15 million.
Damn.
Harumi, I'm also very furious with you because you never gave us the real answer about Richard Jewell's girl.
I looked it up.
Yeah, what they say? Talking to the microphone.
Oh.
This is
she
from the
died
last episode.
The question was whether she was dead.
Yeah.
She died in the early 90s.
So Greg was right. Greg was absolutely
Or
right.
2001.
I've never been wrong on this podcast.
Greg was right.
Not the early 90s, early 2000s. She
Early
couldn't have been
2000s,
dead
yeah.
when
She
it
had
happened.
cancer or something. Right?
She had cancer of
Greg was
Clinton gave it
right.
to him. The Trail of Bodies.
We were saying this before the podcast started, though, about how I was saying this about how they don't let old people drive at a certain point, and they have to do the same thing with directing movies.
Yeah, we should have an alarm that goes off when one of us is running a bit.
I was saying it
called you out.
earlier, and
It's
they
really funny.
laughed.
And I laugh. I says a bit. Yeah, they
Yeah.
shouldn't let them the old people come on there, and they're just like, well, I don't like tattoos. Get out of here with that shit.
I've got give the bit alert because this might be a bit. I don't know. It was a tweet, but I think I get mad because everyone gives these Salem witch trial guys. Everyone comes down on them. These terrible guys. Do you know any witches?
No, I thought
No.
it was a good tweet. I retweeted
Okay,
it.
seems like they nipped the witch problem right
nailed
in
it.
the bud. Heroes, and they're
Sure, they got a few.
Yeah.
Or were they? Maybe they were witches.
Yes.
Hey, you gotta break a couple eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, drown a couple of single moms. If you want to kill
You
all
know,
the witches.
The expression goes, you have to systematically kill a bunch of innocent women to make an omelet.
How do you make an omelet? Kill a rich man's mistress.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mass ritual murder.
I did love that too. It's like, he's cheating on my wife. She's a witch. And then just murder her.
Yeah.
Now, we have to get
And
back
that's
to
not
Christmas.
to say that's not going on right now.
What?
Hillary,
Trail of Bodies.
Trail of Bodies.
You know about this Christmas thing you were doing about. What are you doing for Christmas?
Oh, great question. And I'm going to throw it right back at you. What are you doing for Christmas?
Well, I'm going to go down on my wife.
Nice.
That's what we usually do. We do our annual pussy eating contest. Where it's, how long can I take it? I'll tell you this, 2 minutes.
You don't like eating pussy?
I don't like eating my wife's pussy. Because it gives her a position of power that I don't like. I don't like my wife to be have any kind of pleasure in her life. When she wakes up, I give a little taser, and I just give her a little shock. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And when she goes to work, I send rocks to her. She eats things at lunch, and then she bread in between two pieces of pie. In between two pieces of white bread, rocks. And then she has to go buy her own lunch. And I took the money out of her wallet, and I call her credit cards and stolen.
Wow,
that's what I do every year.
That's how a good marriage works. I love eating pussy. I love it.
Same here.
Me too.
Ah,
Just don't do it to your wife, because then she'll get an ego. She'll think she's got it made. And then when I do something nice, she goes crazy.
Like, what's an example of something nice you do?
The
I don't lock her
pussy
out.
eating.
You what?
I don't lock her out of the house. She gets so happy.
What a saint.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get back to this later to see how this played out.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for a gift for Tita, she does need a new ladder, because she's constantly gonna try to climb in through the windows.
Yeah.
And last time I broke her, because she climbed in last time, so I broke her ladder, so she couldn't get in the house.
Yeah, sure.
So she needs a new ladder. She wants one of those little giant ones where you could put them in all different types of formations. The giant
Those are
ladders.
nice. Yes, you
Those
see
are
them
fun.
advertising
so she
on
can
TV.
back in the house.
All kinds of formations.
Yeah. Nothing abuse. It's just all annoying things. You know?
Uh-huh.
Like I
Yes.
take a little air out of the tires,
Well,
so the
yeah,
car just
locking
swerves a
around
little.
doesn't
little.
sound like abuse.
And I never like to argue with you,
Mhm.
but I just, for the sake of accuracy, some people might say the morning tasing falls into abuse.
I have a defense for that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't tase her. It's set to an alarm. Like I can't look if you're sitting by I set the taser to go off.
Right.
If you're
Okay.
sleeping there,
Yes.
that's nothing to do with me. It's
Yeah.
a
You
timed
rolled over.
electric. Yeah, it's
That's-
a time electrocution.
That's why I always felt like Timothy McVeigh got a raw deal.
Yeah.
Look, he put the bomb there. It was on a timer. He didn't press
It's
a
the bomb's
button.
fault. Put the bomb on trial,
Yeah.
not that guy.
Yeah, put the bomb on trial. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Can I say this
Uh-huh.
about? And I think this is a right up SNL's alley.
Uh-huh.
For a coffee shop called Taser Coffee,
Taser coffee.
where you give them a little bit of coffee, but the main thing is they tase you, and that's how they wake you up.
Taser coffee. Write it up.
Yeah, pretty good. Well, that's what a great Christmas you've got going for you.
I've got a few other things too. I have a court case on the 25th.
Let's hear about it.
Oh, it's for my anti-vaccine campaign I've been doing. Yeah. I've been injecting people with different types of maple syrup.
Uh-huh.
Why not? That could be the cure. How do you get cures? I say I'm on this science approach of try every single combination. Okay? You don't know what cures cancer. Maybe maple syrup does. So what cures hair loss? Maybe maple syrup does. So I just been injecting people with maple syrup.
Sure, yeah.
And people want to sue me. And you know what? I think the blind justice of Lady Law will see me out in a free man on December 25th.
Now I hope.
Christmas court. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be live.
Now I have
yeah.
a question.
Uh-huh.
What have been your results so far? You inject these people with maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Do they convulse and die? What generally happens?
They turn extra jolly for the holidays.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
that's
it fills
great.
them with Christmas syrup. Spirit.
And syrup.
Yeah, both. They get very happy.
So what are you going to court for? Is it the FDA that's
turns-
taking you to court?
Well, it's a bunch. There's a battery of charges. They say assault. They say pretending to be a scientist, pretending to be a doctor, illegal obsession of needles, not wearing the right suit in a sanitation laws,
I'm sorry.
HIPAA, because I tell everyone I'm doing it, and to who.
What is illegal obsession with needles?
Yeah.
What is there a legal limit to
Well,
be obsessed with them?
So the thing is, the first thing was illegal possession of needles, which they had me for. Should not have had those. But then I also obsess over it. I'm like, what are you talking about? These are all good needles. They're like, drop it. And I'm like, I'm not going to drop it. I'm a needle connoisseur. I get them off the ground. I get them from the cars. I just go into the pharmacy, and some things are, you need big ones for the maple syrup.
Sure, it's a thick,
a big gauge.
wide gauge. Yeah.
So I got that. That's what I'm doing on Christmas.
You reminded me. This is a very elitist. It is illegal.
Tell me.
It's illegal. You could go to court for pretending to be a doctor. It's illegal to pretend to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Not illegal to pretend to be a mechanic.
No.
Not illegal to pretend to be a comic.
Nope.
It's a very elitist system they've set up.
Well,
you know.
see, let me tell you this. This is part of my plan. The court I'm going to, it's not a real court.
Kangaroo court?
It's not. Well, I mean, to the best case, it's. See, the real court called me, and I said, "What are you talking about? I'm going to court on Christmas. There's a bunch of my friends. I'm paying off. We're doing a fake court. So then I just write it off and see, guys, you got me. Can't do double jeopardy is what I say.
Yes, double jeopardy laws.
Wait,
It's a fake.
It's like an Ocean's 11 kind of thing.
It's an Ocean's 11 type plan
Okay.
where I'm going to this court. It's all fake. Actors paid.
Gotcha.
Then when they go, Greg, innocent as a bell. Real court comes
As
in.
they say.
As has been said a million times before.
Goes, innocent as a bell.
Innocent as a bell. Then when real court calls me, I go, I've already been tried for this. You can't do double jeopardy. They've got me on obsession of needles. They've got me for impersonating a white coat doctor. They've got me three rankings of racism.
The charge of impersonating a white coat doctor is a strong charge.
Well, man,
Yeah.
What you've been charged with seems like you're the first case in the history of the world with those charges.
And I spared no expense. My lawyer, Val Kilmer, is one of the best. He's a little fat now, but that's why I was able to get him cheap. Now, what are you doing for Christmas? Or did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, now that I
already-
realized we were supposed to be making up stuff.
No, you're not.
it's real.
No, this was in the beginning. You're not. I have not said what I'm doing for Christmas. I'm gonna. I'm going. For the day, I'll be with my mom, and then I'm just gonna be with my mom, and then I fly out to St. Louis the next day. But now it's time to check in on because, like I said,
He said the last 10 minutes.
What?
He said we were doing the first 10 minutes and then the last 10 minutes.
well, things got out of
You're
hand.
getting too excited.
But things got out of hand. But also, it's like I like to, wherever the car goes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I used to say that to Tita because I would take air out of her tires, and it would lean into it would just lean into the median, and I'd say wherever the car goes, it's got nothing to do with me. Another court
I'm
case
sure
I'm
you'll
following.
end up
But
in
go
court
ahead.
for that. So now it's time because, like I said, this is going to air on after Christmas, right?
No.
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 This one's the 19th, and the next one is 7 days after the 19th.
So the 26th.
Oh, yes, it will.
So this
the
is
day
one
after,
day
yeah.
after Christmas.
I might be in jail.
So now, you guys, we recorded this portion before Christmas, and now we're going to stop the podcast.
Okay.
And now we're going to talk about how it all went.
Okay.
So wait, stop the podcast.
Bloop.
Okay.
Oh,
Everyone,
what?
cover your cameras.
I hope you guys had a good Christmas because mine was not so hot.
Oh,
really?
boy,
Well,
what
you went to
happened?
Maine.
I went to Maine with my lady.
Mhm.
Couple of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
First of all, Greg is Greg's an idea man, and when Greg says something, I gotta stop for a second.
Yeah, you can't be this.
Why do you just have receipts stuck to your foot, Anthony?
I don't know.
What kind of shit is that? A
I
man just
honestly-
with garbage falling
I
off
honestly
of him.
don't know. I'm much more interested, though, in about what happened in Maine.
I'm much more interested in what the fuck is wrong. He
I'd
can't
like to know
sit
what's on
in
that
a
receipt.
chair. He's throwing
not
receipts
really
on the
sure.
floor.
We'll pick it up and let's go through it, and then we'll hear about Brennan's story. We've got nothing but time.
Well, yeah.
Only built for Cuban links.
Oh, that was from the presents.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the presents.
Yeah. Must have just been stuck to my foot or something.
From Lauren Classy Broad. So
Must-
that's
Oh.
been stuck to your foot for 3 weeks.
I guess, yeah.
That's like when I woke up and took a shower a couple weeks ago and just a nickel fell off me.
Yeah.
Just a nickel stuck to me
That'll
like a
get
piece
ya.
of shit. Now, Christmas is not so good.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, as you know, Greg is a man whose ideas I hold in the highest esteem.
Sure.
Appreciate
And I
it.
got to thinking, I mentioned I was going to Maine for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
I mentioned the lobstermen and how they're very protective. And Greg brought up, I don't know if you remember, that if you could get a little personal submarine, you could really clean up.
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
said
so,
that before.
In
the
5 days, I constructed a little personal submersible.
You did.
And I spent Christmas Eve, because I said, these guys are going to be busy on Christmas Eve. I went around, and I had a net behind me, so I could put them into the net. It had little
Right.
arms like those guys that work on deep oil rigs, you know.
Totally,
deep
I've
sea
seen the
yeah.
movies.
And so I got over 12,000 pounds of lobster.
Wow.
Well, it turns out there's not a lot of places to sell lobster. And if the lobstermen all have empty traps and one guy from New York shows up at the lobster market with 12,000 pounds,
you're gonna raise some eyebrows.
you're going to raise some eyebrows. And I tried to come up with an explanation. I tried to come up with it quick, and I just said that Amy gave them to me for Christmas.
Oh, boy.
And so she is not doing well. Now, the second portion, I should say, because I don't want to get into too many details of that.
Well, we're also going to check in
legal
10 years down the line.
There's legal and physical attack ramifications for that. Second portion, I did a Christmas tradition, which I thought was a known Christmas tradition. Turns out it is not. I challenged, everyone. We were eating cookies. They were singing some songs. Dinner was wonderful. This is Christmas Eve. I then thought, well, this is when you do the known first Christmas with the new boyfriend tradition. I challenged her stepfather to a fight.
Wow, real fight.
Yes, yeah. I thought that was a tradition. It's not.
Well, a tradition has to start somewhere.
Well, I thought it was a known thing that you fight the stepfather so as to determine who the man of the house is. Is it me or is it you?
And you brought home all those lobsters.
And he is a very nice man. He refused to fight. He wouldn't even put his hands up. I beat him senseless. I thought there would be cheers and Christmas and eggnog passed around. Well, the family was disgusted, and I was kicked out. No presents. So overall, as a Christmas, C+.
Okay.
B-.
All right.
That'll be trouble.
Well, what'll be interesting when we check back in about 10 years.
Okay.
For the last part of this episode.
Sure.
To see where your relationship with Amy and the stepfather and how the whole lobster thing turned out.
Yeah, we after 10 years of podcasting, maybe we can figure out how to. Well, I'm not one to question.
You're doing a very ghost of Christmas past, present, and future thing here. I don't know if you even connected
am
that.
I? So what happened with that court case?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, right? Me and Val, my lawyer, had
yeah,
what we
how'd that
thought
go?
was a rock solid defense, right?
Yeah.
And he had this little ace in the pocket, right? They charged me guilty of every single, even in my own paid off kangaroo court, they found me guilty of every single charge. And then I say, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. And Val says, I got this ace. Hang on a second. And he says, Your Honor. And she says, yes, Val. And she says, as you know, it is Christmas Day, and laws be the law. You need to grant the defendant one Christmas gift of his choosing. And he says, here's what you're going to say. Just ask for your freedom, right? Okay. And I said, well, this is what you guys
no.
Easy peasy.
This is something.
Easy peasy.
Oh, no.
And I raised my hand, and I said, I said, for my present, I want a bushel of grapes because I love grapes.
I knew it.
And they got them to me, and they had pits. Are you crazy? You got to say pitless. So I'll be going away. I'm going to be going away to prison for about 10 years.
That's convenient.
It might be. Wow. I am worried. It is a prison full of actors, which is great. But, still a prison.
Still, man.
It's actor prison.
Prison's prison. Any way to slice it.
So I'll be handling that. I really thought I
thought with the paid off thing and that it was all fake and they were your friends.
I gotta tell you, I really dropped the ball with the gift thing. I really should have just said, give me my freedom.
It seems like it.
If you have freedom, you can get grapes.
One thing though that
True, a good thing to think about.
One positive, I will say, proves you have very honest friends. They tried the cases they saw fit.
True.
Well, and they're all actors, and they are method. So they were in character.
Yeah.
You got to get bad actors so you can pay off. These guys wouldn't sell out their art.
Did they get you on everything? Obsession with needles?
Obsession with needles. Possession of needles. Tried for impersonating a white coat doctor. Hair loss. Hair growth.
Wearing scrubs without a license.
Illegal passage through an unmarked territory. Wheel fraud. Everything.
Wow. So, any falling out? Any regrets with Val as your lawyer?
Well, I gotta be honest. The guy told me. He said, "Ask for your freedom." I guess if he was younger, stronger, Val, he may have bullied me into it.
Sure.
Because he doesn't get no one's getting paid on this now.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I said, if I go to jail, and I'm not paying anybody, so I'm not paying anybody. But I'll be in actor jail for about 10 years. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna start doing some push-ups. That can't be that bad.
Yeah, you're gonna make come 10 years. It might be super jacked.
What about you?
Might be into protein and stuff. We had a dinner. It was good. We just we had dinner. It was fine. I was trying to watch basketball, but I just kept getting interrupted. It wasn't that bad though.
That's pretty good. Seems
Yeah.
like a pretty everyday run-of-the-mill.
Pretty run of the
Christmas.
mill. The Clippers played the Lakers, and that was like the game I really wanted to watch. But then Aunt Bev just talked through it, so it wasn't like too enjoyable. But lucky for me, I did tape it on Hulu, so I could watch it later.
Taped it on Hulu.
Yeah.
That's the only part of the story I don't believe.
No, I
You
did.
can't tape anything on Hulu.
You can. We have Hulu Live.
Really?
Yeah, Hulu has live sports.
Hulu has live sports.
That's when Harumi comes in.
well, Dan and I get paid for that.
Yeah.
Because Dan and I are sponsored by
Live.
Hulu. Hulu has live sports. Every time we say it, we get a stipend.
Or as Hispanic people, they call it Hooju. Did you know that?
You know what? You know.
Hey, what do you
people-
care? You're going to jail anyway.
I gotta know myself with the Hispanic culture.
Side note.
Yeah.
When I opened for Anthony's one-man show,
Yeah.
Lydia was there, and
Still trying?
Lydia's Anthony's friend. She's great, and I gave her a hug. I hadn't seen her in a while, and she goes, "Oh, you smell really good." And only later did I realize, oh, I think that's because she listens to the podcast, and I talk about Vera Wang for Men all the time. I think that's why that happened.
Right. Oh, could be, man. Could be. So now, we will we'll stop this now, and then
All right.
we will go 10 years into the future.
Well, we're not gonna go 10 years in the future. What we'll do is we'll just play. Yeah, I guess you're right.
What were you gonna think?
Well, I guess we're not traveling through time. We're just waiting. We're just adding this to the thing.
Yes.
I don't know how that works. I don't really know how time works.
Nobody does.
I haven't talked to time since
Well,
she
since you Me Too'd.
Richard
Sure, yeah,
Dawkins.
I mean, you're a friend of yours.
Um,
So we'll cut this here, and then we're gonna go 10 years into the future. I built a special machine.
All right, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone, cover your cameras. So that
So
we
cover
can,
the cameras.
5, 4, 3. Anthony and the one behind you. Okay.
I like how you
and we're
think that
back.
covering the camera is an important element of the.
Well, yeah, we're 10 years into the future
We are
now.
10 years into the
And
future, and
now-
technology has changed.
Yes.
But I haven't bought new cameras because I bought advanced cameras 10 years ago.
What are you buying? You've been in prison for 10 years.
No, I bought these when we had the podcast 10 years ago. I always had the
Oh, ahead of the
pinnacle of
curve with
wires
technology.
and cameras.
Very true. All right, so what has been going on with you?
Well, life is pretty good despite some of the hardships I deal with. As you know, 10 years ago, on this very night, was when I beat up Amy's wonderful stepdad. I mean,
Sure.
it was violent.
Senseless. You
It
said,
was
yeah.
violent. And the way I have made up for that is when me and Amy are still together, we're married, we have 3 kids. 2 of them are good. One of them, he's an outdoor kid. We don't let him inside.
Ooh.
Yeah, because people
Fun.
aren't doing that.
Yeah.
And we doing sort of an experiment. What happens
Yes.
if you treat a kid like an outdoor cat?
Uh-huh.
He just comes to the stoop for food. He gets he does whatever he wants. It's not going well. He doesn't talk. He's feral.
He's a stoolie.
But it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's good for science. But anyway, that's besides the point. The kids are doing fine. Now, in order to make things right with Amy's stepdad, who I should mention is a wonderful man, I did have to create a new Christmas tradition. And that's at Christmas Eve, we have this wonderful dinner. We eat cookies. We play some games, and then he is allowed to strike me 3 times in the face with anything of his choosing.
wow.
And it's the only way I could get back into the good graces of the
Right.
family.
Yeah.
Right.
And depending on how things are going that year, like one year, it was a dish rag. That was fine. That was fine.
Wet or dry?
2 years ago.
Wait, wet or dry?
What?
Wet or dry?
Wet. I mean,
Okay,
he's not.
all right.
He's not going to go too easy. I
Yeah,
mean, I
sure.
beat him senseless, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
wet. But 2 years ago, it was a tire iron.
Ooh.
That was brutal. That has created some ongoing brain damage issues. Now, you may remember there was a second issue. I stole lobster, and I pinned the blame on Amy. Now, up there in Maine, the court. There's no real court system going on there. It's sort of there are a lot of pilgrims left, and so it got to the point where they were going to burn her at the stake, and that's where I had to jump in. And I had to say, this was about a week after we checked in. They were going to burn her at the stake for lobster theft. I jumped in. I said, it was me. But you can't burn my woman. She's innocent. It was me. I did it. And they gave me a choice, and to their eternal, my eternal gratitude towards them, they gave me a choice. They said, we could burn you at the stake, or we could have our mending man. That's what they call their doctor. They don't know doctors. They call him the mending man. Or we could have our mending man cut off your arm at the elbow and replace it with a lobster claw. And I said, can I pick the lobster? And they said, you can pick the lobster. And so that's why, as you see, I've got this pretty large lobster claw as an arm. Yeah. It's not great. Sure. People don't like it that much. It's been good for the act. It's been good for comedy, because there's very few lobster clawed. I got on Last Comic Standing, season 700.
They did a lot
year.
of seasons in 10 years.
Yeah, as you remember,
30 seasons.
Off and they were cranking them out. Man. It's an easy show to do.
The robot clone of Wanda Sykes loved me.
Oh wow!
And I made it to round 4. And then they had a guy who had a dog's dick, and he beat me.
Yeah, can't never go up against an animal with that's a dick, a human dick.
But yeah, things are pretty good. I'm glad we're still doing the podcast.
I'm sorry, you were on season 700?
Yeah,
I was thinking of the other season where it was the dog with the
human dick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was good. He was good though.
He was good.
With him, it wasn't just the shtick. With him, it was like he had the jokes to back it up. But yeah, overall everything's pretty good. I was sad when Harumi died, as we all were. But he had quite the IMDb resume.
Yep.
What about you, Greg?
Very extensive.
Well, I mean, I had a lot of downs.
Yeah.
The 10 years in
10 years in the
acting
can,
prison was jail. Was rough. I mean, I missed Harumi's funeral. That was like really sad for me.
Sure.
Because I wish I could have been there. I was happy that Ryan Beck was FaceTime me in after the years of fury in our feud. It was nice that he actually was like
buried that hatchet.
He buried the hatchet. I'm still mad, but it's good that he wasn't. Acting in prison was rough. The first few years, I had to get into a gang. I had to sign a gang, and it was
Which gang did you join?
Which gang did you sign with?
Puerto Rican Power.
Sure.
Yeah, they were really cool. They had like a lot of tattoos of fun things, like a lot of cartoons, and I like cartoons. So I was like, I like your cartoon images. A lot of them were very good artists. It was random. I think they were all from it. The truth is they were all actors, right? I gotta be honest. These white actors, they don't know real Puerto Ricans,
right?
So they were just basing all of their acting off of the brother in the Richie Valens movie.
Sure.
So it was like, so I did that. I was in that gang, and then I got married.
I thought you were already married.
I thought you got remarried?
No, I did get remarried. Well, Tita had left me because turns out when I was gone for 2 years, she realized how much fun it was to not have someone with their foot on your neck for the year. So just no rock sandwiches. She ended up getting married to Alex Rodriguez.
Hey, Rob. Yes.
Yeah, she got married
a lot of turns in this story.
Yeah, I mean, like she was with me. She was ankle weights. I was ankle weighting her down, like your very famous thing.
Sure.
So as soon as I was gone, the stars were the limit, and she got that Oscar, she got the Emmy, she got
really took off. The Tita story.
Yeah,
Greg's thumb.
Yeah, she's blonde now. She did everything she wanted to do. She's got
that's a big thing.
Well, I never let her do it. She always said, I want to go blonde. I said, nope, keep it Asian, as I would say. And she was very mad. So anyway, I got married in jail to Larry Nassar.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt. Larry Nassar, he ended up in actor's jail, not real jail.
See, that's the thing. The actor I married was portraying Larry Nassar.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
good,
married
good.
Paul Giamatti, but the guy never broke character.
Right.
So you don't know who you're really in
A lot
love
of
with.
fingers. Yeah.
Right.
Am I loving the actor or am I loving Larry Nassar? A lot of fingers in a lot of things.
Yeah.
As
In both ways.
yeah,
Yeah.
double entendre. But we lived pretty happy for about 6 or 7 years, and then he had a heart attack. That was rough. That was rough because I couldn't go to that funeral because they separate you, and I never got to say goodbye. That was, it was probably one of the hardest things.
Sure.
Was burying, not being able to see someone you love, and it's just like if I hadn't, I could have been there for him if only they hadn't got me on the white coat impersonation. I would have
Really?
knocked 3 years off, and I would have been able to watch my husband. I would have buried my loving husband. Tita was there. She thinks I didn't see her, but she was behind a tree in the rain, and it was
they always are.
It
They
was
always
nice to
are.
see in her black coat and A-Rod's Ferrari. He's such a dick.
What a dick. He
Yeah,
wouldn't even
such
tone it down for Nassar's funeral.
He still has something to prove.
Right.
Yeah, he still has something to prove. As we bury Larry Nassar, he's in there just revving the engine.
Yeah.
Like they're like, here we are to lay Larry, run. It's like, come on, man, it's fucked up. Trying to watch my husband, but I wasn't there. But Tita was there.
But Tita
She
was there.
FaceTimed me in.
Yeah, I was going to say.
which was nice.
Okay.
So
Can I
that's
make a
it.
side note?
Yeah.
Just and this is something that's taken me 10 years to realize. If you die and there's not someone in the rain behind a tree at your funeral trying not to let people notice they're there, then you haven't lived.
You haven't lived.
Yeah. That's a sad. Well, nothing sadder than that funeral than looking at a tree in the distance and seeing nobody peeking around the
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
If you haven't
Yeah.
crossed someone
Yeah.
that if only 2 days left on this earth
Yep.
would have forgiven you, what have you done?
What
Yep.
have you done?
Would you work
Totally.
at a TCBY your whole life?
Yeah.
No. Yes, I mean I've been that, and I got out. I got out 3 days ago, which was nice.
So do you and Tita, does she try to reach out? I mean, aside from the funeral, are you guys talking?
I was thinking about giving her a call, but I got to be honest, it's hard to get to her because
She's
she
so
lives
famous.
on the top of the Chrysler building,
Right.
With and she's running for Congress. She's got that new restaurant. She's a recurring character on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Right.
She's doing great.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, do you think?
Well, I'm going to go to the rock store and start throwing rocks at her again. See if I could trigger her back her
The
way.
old memories. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe get like a lasso or something.
Yeah.
Kidnap her, get her back in the marriage.
Yeah.
I mean-
I think you can.
It's not hard because that's the thing. Everyone wants to go with physical, right? I can't beat up Alex Rodriguez, but I can get her back through psychological warfare.
Right, which is the physical act of throwing rocks at her.
Yeah. An interesting
Well,
definition you have in your head.
Well, it's
Far
mental.
be it
It's
from
a
me.
mental decision she has to make.
Right.
Because once I hit her with a rock, she's gonna go, "Stop throwing rocks!" And I go, "You want me to stop throwing rocks? Come back home with me."
Right.
And as soon as she gets in the door, lock, switch, the club. She's locked in the house again. She can't get out.
You ever see a club on a car
I
that you're
can-
like, you idiot?
Yeah. What are you doing?
You this is a Pontiac. They don't
Yeah.
even make Pontiac.
They didn't even make the club.
Yeah. yeah.
All of
Yeah, I
this.
would imagine if a thief sees the club, like they'd be like, "Look, I wasn't gonna steal that car,
Yeah.
but now that you put the club on it,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
fuck
steal
you."
your Grand Prix."
In Ireland, it's great because there's a lot of car theft there. And people don't have the club; they just have like chains.
Yeah.
They'll just chain up their steering wheel and then chain it to like the back seat and just put a big lock on it, where it's like you can still steer it a little, but
Yeah.
you're gonna crash.
Right.
Like,
It's gonna be harder.
We should see if we can get on Shark Tank and try to pitch them the club.
That's a great idea. That
For you're still in your cars.
is a
With a K.
hilarious idea.
With a K.
yeah.
Club with a K.
Bit alert before I go into my 10-year thing.
Bit alert, bit alert, bit
I
alert.
think it's funny because they would try to steal horses back in the day.
I will fuck you up, man. I will fuck you up, man. I got prison brain now. You think I won't? Dude, I had 3 guys I put in the ground for stealing a bit in prison.
Man, I can't believe they didn't give you more jail time for that.
No, they
wait,
didn't
what's
know.
your bit? I don't know this bit.
Well, I didn't want to say it on the podcast, but I'll tell
Okay.
you. I'll tell you. Should I just say it?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Patreon. They get a little extra.
Yeah.
It's still working it out. I just think it's really funny that like people used to rob cars. And like you rob a car, you get it because you could just like you could sell for parts, you could spray paint it, you
Yeah.
could do all that, right? But there used to be horse thieves.
Yeah.
You know How'd they do that? You know, they're just like, hey man, that's my horse. He's like, nah, this is Larry. I had a new idea on it. Now this is for fun because this will never make stage. I wonder, you know how they do steampunk, where steampunk is like, oh, this is what the future would have been if electricity was never invented. Wonder if they never saw cars and they were like, oh, they had cyborg horses. Because they never saw cars would be invented. But they're like, oh, we got to get a spare part for my horse. Give him a bionic leg. You know, that's more of a movie I think I'll write than a bit.
That This Is Larry reminded me, and we got to check in on Anthony's 10-year update. But
Can't wait.
that reminded me of my favorite. Me and Amy watch Forensic Files. I like Forensic Files.
Well, okay, that's something else. I'm sorry.
My favorite episode ever is this couple did an insurance fraud where they insured the husband, got a bunch of life insurance on the husband, dug up a body from the graveyard, put it in his car, and just pushed his car off a cliff, you know, and then got the insurance money. Not even a week later, he comes back home. Only his hair is dyed, and the kids go crazy like, Dad's back! And they literally go, no. This is Mom's new boyfriend. And they're like 8 and 10 years old.
God.
They literally told the kids, no, this is not your dad.
Because they were trying to do an insurance scam.
Yeah, but the idea, they thought the kids would just be like, oh, okay,
Larry.
That's not Dad.
Yeah,
like,
cool, Mom, wink.
Yeah,
we get it.
Yeah, the kids were like,
wow.
What?
What a fucked up thing even to do to your kids.
Yeah.
And he died?
No, this is not Dad. This is my new boyfriend.
Wait, whose body was in the trunk?
Yeah, we're cool,
They
Mom.
just dug up a random body from the cemetery.
You go to jail for that?
Yeah, they went to you go to
insurance fraud.
Yeah, and you can go to jail for tampering with a body.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
You should never go to jail for an attempt because it's just going to teach people not to shoot their shot. You know what I mean? We're a country full of innovation. We should be allowing people. They should have a thing. It's like, hey, you're getting probation for testing the police.
Hey man, you know, not for whatever, but this from the guy that spent 10 years in jail.
Yeah. Wrongfully. This is why I shouldn't have been in jail for 10 years. I was shooting my shot. I came up with an entire acting community to a court case. But those goddamn method actors are the fucking worst.
Yeah, they're too good, man.
Also, I want to shout out to all the actors that came to jail. Didn't do anything wrong. They were just living the Truman Show for me. Just to make me an acting
Oh, right.
Was the head of your gang John Leguizamo?
You wish. He was the warden. The goddamn warden. And we had to watch his one-man fucking show every month.
Guy comes out with a new one every.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But either there, or. Is that what they say?
Yep, either there,
Sure they
or.
Yeah, that's exactly what they say.
How's Harumi doing?
He's dead.
Oh, man.
Now, Anthony,
Because that's why you do a funeral. So you remember they're dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Anthony? 10 years down the line.
10
Here we
years
are,
down the
10
line.
years down the line from that fateful day when you watched basketball and recorded it on Hulu.
Before we get into that, I do. Yeah. Oh, is that Cyborg Harumi? We must have
What's
some
that?
kind of robot
Yeah,
Harumi over there running the
absolutely,
board.
it's Cyborg Harumi.
Hey, Cyborg Harumi, can you say hello?
Hulu has live sports.
Yeah. It's
Just like
a robot.
Just like Dan was.
I'll tell you this. Robot Harumi and regular Harumi. Both robots. Just kidding. Tell us of your day, of your fine Christmas 10 years after the Hulu Sports
My mom.
fiasco.
My mom
Not
is-
getting to see that Lakers game must have really affected you.
Well, it pissed me off, and I still remember it for sure. I did get to watch it, which was nice. But my mom is she's older now. She's like we're thinking about putting her in a nursing home kind of thing. And then
How old is she now?
Now
Yeah.
she's 83.
Oh, that's
So
not-
but she worked for so
about
many
getting
years.
time for you to kill yourself. Looks like her time's coming up.
Yeah,
We all know
Yeah,
that vow.
The old Anthony
clock-
suicide pact with his mom.
So the clock is almost out on the both of us. So I guess we're both taking the necessary measures that comes along with that.
What are they?
Golf and shopping for her, obviously.
Coffin shopping.
Yeah.
You
Getting
find it,
things
you
in order.
find that? Do you find that really to be a fun thing to do your own shopping for your own coffin? A little morbid, I'd say, especially around the Christmas season.
Sure, but you gotta be prepared.
Yeah.
And she's someone who always aesthetics are always a big thing for her. So she wants to make sure it looks good, which I have my issues with, and we've had fights over that doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
because she'll never see it.
Definitely gonna have a white coffin, right?
Yeah, obviously. She wants a white coffin. She wants diamond encrusted stuff. It's been a
Still
whole...
gonna put you in debt.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. I'm like, I mean, why did I work so... I mean, I struggled in the 10 years. Not too much happened. Like,
Sure.
things got a little bit better, but
Uh-huh.
nothing crazy.
So
So
you
it's-
did Live at Gotham. They brought that
I did,
show back.
dude. They brought it back, and I did Live at Gotham, which was cool. I had to fight tooth and nail just to get on that son of a bitch. But so not a ton has happened. And I wanted to watch basketball today, obviously, but I'm dealing with this, and then Aunt Bev and Bob will come over, and they're still doing pretty well. So they
What's
just
Bob's-
talk through stuff.
Bob still got a dog or a new dog?
Fido's gone, man. They got
Oh.
new Fido. They got new Fido.
You just ran Fido back, same name?
Kinda, yeah. They got new Fido, same name, same deal, same thing. They talked over. It was a fucking Pelicans versus not the Clippers, but the Pelicans versus the Mavs, which they're the best two teams now. But I couldn't watch the game, so I recorded it again, and I'm all right.
Well, that's pretty good. That's a great update.
Great update.
You guys want to call it out?
Nope, because
All right.
it's Mom running the ship here.
Okay.
And we've got Anthony's corner.
Oh,
to
that's
do
right.
Yet, but we've got a Greg takeover,
Oh,
and I understand.
so we have to stop. We have to stop to make me do something. It's like, hey,
I
we're
think-
about done cleaning the room, right? No, Greg, you have to wash the
Well,
floors.
I thought there was some news you had.
yeah, I understand that there's some news
Don't get me started on
/ compliment kind of stuff.
No, I'm furious at this.
Well, this is Anthony's corner. Greg takeover.
let's
so you
do a
can do
little-
whatever you want in these 5 minutes.
I'm going to do behind the scenes real quick. I had this great idea that I told Anthony at the coffee shop this morning called Loser News, okay? Where it's news for losers, okay?
Didn't
What-
understand it.
And I said, it's news for losers. So all the losers,
bad.
what would be a news thing for a loser? And Anthony said, I don't get it. And I said, you fucking get it. You're trying to fuck me on this because I'll spoil it. He had an idea for Freak Soup, which was what, Brendan?
Freak news.
Freak
This
news.
is not true.
Yeah.
This is not true. And I usually will let a lot of things slide.
Uh-huh.
But I
No,
will,
you do?
I will defend myself to no end about Freak Soup, and I'll tell you the backstory of Freak Soup.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I will. And I hate that this is cutting in to the Greg takeover of Anthony's
Well, I'm not
Corner.
counting it as my time.
That's fine. And that's a part of Anthony's Corner. Freak Soup, I woke up this morning, and I kind of was like, fuck, I woke up too late. I wanted to write in Anthony's Corner. I don't have anything. Think of 2 funny words you can jam together. So I thought of Freak Soup, and then I thought, well, that is funny. But what could that mean? And then I thought, it's like Talk Soup, but for what's going on in the world of freaks for that week.
Yeah. And
then-
I will say that I
then-
woke up and I said, I don't have anything for this podcast. What are 2 funny words? I think, and I went, loser, news.
Yeah.
It's like news for losers.
And here's the thing. Greg had thought his out a little bit more than mine, and he seemed to have examples, so I said I will shelve Freak Soup for this week and come back to it on a later date, much like Malcolm X in the Middle, which don't get me started on that we're just never going to do. And I wrote all these characters.
We
but-
did it. I thought we did it.
No, we did not do it. I would know if I played Slice the mailman who thinks he's in the family. And I have not.
Dan Harumi, can you guarantee us, Robot Dan?
We
We
definitely
did
didn't.
not.
We definitely didn't.
No.
How
we
would you know? It's
definitely-
10 years ago.
Oh, I have a memory like a box. We did not. Yeah, think about it.
Like a box?
Like a box.
Is that
yeah.
a phrase that's popped up in the,
Oh,
in
it
the
is
last
10
10
years
years?
in the future. Absolutely.
Well, I want to.
Because Harumi was going to play the dad, and he was nervous about that.
Uh-huh.
But it never happened, so we never got to do it, which he's probably relieved by.
Well, I want, for my takeover, I want to do because it's 10 years out of jail, I want to do something that I've been waiting 10 years to do.
Fine.
And that is my tribute to my love, Larry Nassar. Okay, it's a poem. Okay?
Great.
Yes, great.
Larry, so damn scary. No one believed you, but I did. Because you were just an actor named Paul Giamatti. Or were you not? I don't know. I was married to a person who did a lot of bad things, but he didn't really do them. He pretended to. What's worse? You know what's worse? 6 feet of dirt that lays on your face. I love you forever. Gregory.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay, so now you guys want to plug dates?
Plug dates. Yeah, I do want to plug dates.
Yeah.
I
On the
want to
Patreon?
plug.
Where are you gonna be?
I'm plugging nothing. Go to @airbud
But keep in mind, this is 10 years in the future.
EYREBBUD on Twitter and Instagram, and Flip Flop, which is the biggest social media platform. What kind of laugh was that you gave me, Greg? Greg gave me a ha 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 ha.
He's tired. He's tired. And he's gone.
That's robot laugh. I learned it from Dan Robot Hirumi.
Where are you gonna be, Greg? This is 10 years in the future.
I mean, where? I mean, I'm going back to jail because I don't feel like I'm well adjusted here. I've not adjusted to human life on the outside. So I'm gonna either go back to acting jail or kill myself like Brooks. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah. I do.
What movie was it then? If you remember it so well.
Brooks Goes to Hell.
Well, Brooks goes to hell.
Suicide is a sin. I don't know what you're talking
Shawshank
about.
Redemption. You
I've never seen
mook.
it. I had a lot of people mention Shawshank Redemption to me this week. I've never seen it,
Is-
and I refuse to now.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Can we be real?
Yeah, let's be real.
You shouldn't refuse. You should watch it. It might be one of the best movies ever made.
All right, I'll watch
That being said,
it.
is mook a racial slur? Can I just say that?
I think it's fine.
Let me Google
We're
mook.
so far into the podcast, and I will be doing, as usual, I'll be doing one of my 24-hour comedy shows in Quadrant 3. So everybody come out.
Quadrant 3. 10 years, man. Shit really doubled down.
Right,
You fucking mook. A stupid or incompetent person, also a slur. Everything is a slur for black people. This is crazy.
Yep. Thanks,
Nope, that's something else.
Thanks so much for listening. And as they say, 10 years in the future, Sligo Wygo.